Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 27 of my tutorial series for Dwarf Fortress. We've come a long way together and today it's time to tune into the justice system. So that's what we're going to have as our main topic. So this is a Let's Play series, so that means the tutorial aspects are intermingled with lots of gameplay and things that happen in between of the fortress. So if you're looking for a shorter and concise summary of the justice system, I did a video about that too, which I linked in the description box. That being said, let's get started. So we are going to go downstairs now, and not that deep downstairs, and we're going to start and set up the infrastructure for the justice system, because, you know, the thing is, we do already have criminals. So as you see here in the open cases menu, we have a lot of disorderly conduct. I already know who's behind that. And if you check here in the convicts area, you see we already got somebody who's supposed to be certain amount of time in the prison. If you don't have a prison when you set up justice system, this ain't good. So let's prepare the justice system before we appoint the captain of the guard, which is going to be the man in charge or the woman in charge in that regard. So I also fixed up the burial chamber mystery, so it's just about the quality. I totally misread that. And the problem here of our Baron is just that the quality of the burial chamber ain't high enough. So this should be solvable with the engravings, and if not, we're just going to smack in a new statue. Job's done. Okay, so downstairs here we have already our military, and we have the entrance to the caverns, if I remember correctly. So this ain't really a good point to do our justicing. So I figured that this level here almost has no purpose whatsoever. So we're going to start with that. So the first thing that I want to dig out is the living area for our captain of the guard, because he's going to have the same needs as any nobleman. That means he's going to need his own apartment wing, he'll need an office, a bedroom, and a dining hall, so we're preparing these already on the get-go. But we're also going to require here a properly sized prison. So here you see how many spots of imprisonment they want. That's a whopping 17. So we're going to get ourselves some work done here. So I'm going to head on over to my smithies. There you go. And we're going to sign a new work order. So let's see, which kind of material do I have endlessly? Well, iron bars look pretty fine, but I don't want to invest in iron here. Ah, Billon. But I don't know, do I have enough Billon? Well, it seems to me as if we are... Let's see, we're constantly smelting magnetite. Well, okay. Probably that's going to be fine. So we're going to order us some chain. So I'm going to do this as a custom order here at this workshop. I'll assign 10 of them to this one and 10 of them to this one, because we're going to require them to furnish our prison. So that's that. Our dude here is working at some mysterious construction. Lots of gizzard stones. Alright, whatever. Okay, so we're preparing the prison. That's good. But we also have to prepare the prison interior-wise, so... or room-wise. So you can have now... you gotta make a decision now whether you want to do how you want to do your prisoning. You know, I personally recommend you to have a couple of solitary cells. Always a good idea. And, or it's really up to you. It's up to your taste. You can also go for a big prison room. So let's do something like that. I'm going to show both concepts and illustrate what's the benefits or the downsides of it. So we got that room here. Let's order a nice engraving here. Alright, so we got a tetrahedrite ring, which is claimed as a family heirloom, so we're not going to interact with that item any further. That's okay. On the item is an image of a sock in llama wool. Yeah, you can keep that. It doesn't sound too fancy, doesn't it? So we got here our work in progress. So putting in some doors. Why is the amount of doors so terribly low? So, alert. We got thieves skulking around. So that ain't good. Okay, so it's just me spending so many doors. Okay. Let's ignore those thieves for now. As long as they're not stealing any artifacts, I don't mind. So, we got the haggard child stumbling around mindlessly. And we got an order for another backpack. So, I'm heading over to my leatherworks, and I'm assigning a backpack, and forget about the rest. I really tried to get those mandates done as fast as possible. And we got snatchers. So, yeah, let's see. We're going to station our dudes up here, and let's see what that'll do. It's really important that you take snatchers a little bit more seriously, so they're getting their way in here. And tell you what, guys, we're disappointed with the speed of these. These are underground after all, so they're not getting things done fast enough. So we're just assigning a kill order on these, and the rest will be fun for our military. So since we have now dead bodies in the fortress, we have to take care of the remains that they're not lying around and spreading miasma. I don't know where the last dude died, though. So snatchers, if you let them, they'll dive past your defenses and they'll grab your children, and that ain't fun. They're going to be raised like goblins, you know? We cannot let that happen. So, the last one is still fighting. Alright. It's being chased by one of my sword dwarfs. I think I can drop the ball here. I guess he learned his lesson. Okay, so this is going to be the prison. So we're going to staff this out now as a prison. So rope and chain is what we do need to imprison convicts. So we need that. So this is the single cell method. Here we can now go and put down those chains in a bigger room. So as you see here, I leave a 3-on-3. I use a 3-on-3 grid method here, and that has a reason why I do so. And that's because if somebody is chained up to a chain, they can still use the. They can still move one grid. So that's your movement radius. So if you want to have private space for everybody, you can use this kind of a pacing. If you don't mind that prison areas overlap, you can also go for a construction which looks more like that. As far as I know, correct me if I stand wrong here, there is no real downside in putting them closer to each other, but I honestly don't know. And the Forgotten Beast has come. So it's a huge eyeless hummingbird. These things are always random, so it has a nubby shell and squirms and fidgets, and it has poisonous vapors. So poisonous vapors is always one hell of an alarm bell, which should make you really, really careful. So since we ain't got our thing here done yet, so currently if that thing could fly, and it is a hummingbird, this could be spelling doom for a fortress. So we're sealing off this area here for until further notice, because we got to finish this construction on another day when that thing ain't around anymore, because you know this is something that can become a big problem. Before we know what's happening, this thing is already sitting in our fortress, and that ain't a good thing. So this is something that I monitor closely, because I'm aware of the danger that this has. So if you're really if you're really, really angsty about things like these, down here in the labor menu, we're looking out for who the hell is building that thing right now. So constructing building, as you see here, somebody has already taken the job to construct this wall, and we can't follow his routine. I love this game for these things because seriously, you have a pretty good you have a pretty good control over these things. So the day is saved. The monster cannot possibly get its way into a fortress. I mean, technically, we might be actually capable of killing that thing, but I don't really want to try my luck. So when you check their military tab, you can also see what they have already done. So this thing isn't too much of a killer, but yeah. We are a beginner's tutorial series. We avoid conflict at this scale, especially if we are currently building our prison complex. So, as you note here, we're getting forward here, and if you check this out now, we don't have any of these still 0 of 17 because this area ain't designated as a prison yet. So we're doing two different methods here. This is the luxury version, and this is the discount version. So the thing is, when your dwarfs spend time in the prison, they are, well, they're bored, you know. It ain't the most entertaining thing in the world to sit in prison, so it's up to you to make that more entertaining. So a good room does a lot. And the most fun part about it is that if you do your thing good enough, a prison environment can be quite therapeutical for the inmate. It is weird like that. So for the perfect prison experience, so your prison cell can have a bed, which is accessible for the inmate. You can and should also put up a table and a chair, because, you know, dwarfs gotta eat in dignity. So we put that up as well. Then we can put up a stockpile zone for drink. You know, dwarfs gotta drink in peace. So here, drink planned, all, and make sure to let this stockpile grab from your big food stockpile, which is located here. So we're making sure that this thing is getting fed. And then we also need a stockpile zone for prepared food, of course, because, you know, dwarfs gotta eat. So here the same rule applies. We link that back to our food production. This was here, wasn't it? That's the food stockpile. Yes, good. So, and then we can go, you can go really crazy and tell this to be a meeting area, and that's and you call that a temple to no specific deity. So they even have a place to pray. That one is optional. I don't know how important that is. And so the real cool part now is that you can get into that stockpile zone, you get that brush, and then you can assign that to several cells. And as far as I know, you know, this is all the same food stockpile, so it's going to get delivered by all the things there. So look at this. Cool. So this way you can staff out several cells without having the need to assign a new stockpile zone every freaking time, because that would actually be a major pain. So let's see how many chains we've got. So as you see there, we're doing this like that. So if you do the bigger version, of course, you can still put up the accommodations to your dwarves. You just have to double down on something. So you'd better be putting your food stockpiles here in between. So give you an example. So here, between two of these, so two chains can access these, and same goes for the drink. And this way you can do the same. You can do the same thing with the larger prison. So it's up to you how you do that. The only thing that I haven't mentioned yet, which I think I should mention, is that a high quality chain does also play a big role, because if it's a masterful chain, that's already good. If it's a masterful chain which is encrusted with valuable gemstones, things get out of control, and they're seriously going to like their time ogling at that frickin' chain. So to sum it up, these are tricks how you can make prisons stay a little bit more fun. So let's put doors in front of these things, because you know doors are important to make prisons work. You know, what's a prison without doors? I'm gonna leave the other cells like these because, you know, it was more a conceptual thing. And let's staff out the rooms for our commander. And then we're going to do the room assignments finally. I know I've been installing these. So dining room and office. I'm sectioning off the office from his private area. You can do that as you want to. Just know that the office of the captain of the guard is where he's going to do his interrogations. So we need a weapon rack and an armor stand. So let's order these. Okay. Whatever. We're going to do a quick one and a pragmatic one for the captain of the guard. So here we go. Let's get back to the prison. So check real quick if there's not some bloodbath ensuing, and now we got to go for the dungeon zone. So we're going to go and paint that dungeon zone like this and like that. So as you see here, I'm encompassing the entirety of the area here as my dungeon. I accept that, and if you go now into the area here, you see, now they count into the system. They need to be in a dungeon zone, otherwise it won't work. So now we got a prison, a working prison. We got the accommodations for the captain of the guard. So we are on a good route, aren't we? So let's put up some chests and some cabinets to make this more lively. I think I don't know how high the requirements of the captain of the guard actually are, but you know, we gotta make him a nice thing there. All right, so let's get started with the rest of these things. So now it's time to assign the captain of the guard. So we go on here, and here you can put up anybody. Ideal would be a person who's a real good talker and a good militia tactician, because your captain of the guard will double up as a military commander and a interrogator. So we're going to put up the metal crafter here. Sadly, you cannot see if there's how their persuasion skills are. UI a mess. So we do notice here that he needs one chest, one cabinet, and weapon stand and armor rack. So most of these things we've already taken care of. So here goes one bedroom. We assign that directly to the captain of the guard, and you know the drill already. That ain't anything new to you at this point anymore. The noblemen, they just have all these annoying things going on for themselves. And here we go. So when we double check now, the captain of the guard is almost happy. He just needs the weapon rack and the armor stand, but these things are in the making. So our freshly assigned captain of the guard, let's see if we can find him. Where are you? Where are you? It's a little bit super annoying to have to look through a list of 200 people until you find that one who's currently captain of the guard, especially since I still haven't found out what the actual sorting here is. So yeah. And to add insult to injury, you cannot select them from this screen. That would be too easy, you know. So yeah, I promise I'm going to find him in a second. Here we go. Like I said. So let's follow our captain of the guard, because the thing is, there is one convict, and usually the captain of the guard should now take things into his or her hands. And here you go, chain unib ostomat. If we wouldn't have had a prison available at this point, she would have gone over there and given a beating. 10 punches. And if your captain of the guard is a strong puncher, then this thing can be really, really threatening. And as you see there, it is totally random which prison cell they take. So you cannot really assign anybody to some prison thing specifically. So if you really want to make sure that they get their proper treatment, you have to staff out the entire prison like that. The thing is, you need those, you need those 17, or it's depending on the size of your fortress, cages and chains, because if you don't, your captain of the guard will be unhappy, and they will have permanent bad thoughts, and that'll make them unhappy over the course of the time, and you don't want unhappy dwarves. We have already seen a fair share of what unhappy dwarves are capable of. So no thanks in that regard. I don't need more about fun. Okay, so we're staffing this out now as well. And gosh, this is a mandate heavy baron. Who's going to do anything with all those backpacks, my friend? Nobody knows. But I usually like to go for a custom work order. These are one-timed. Here, one-timers. And they just get done to satisfy the mandate. And done. So let's get on over to what we got here. So that's a list of open cases. We can now interrogate a person, and here you get a list of every single freaking person in your fortress. And not only the people, also people that have already died here, monsters that have died here. Everybody that has died here. Your freaking animals, you can interrogate them all. I don't know if you really can interrogate the animals. I can say for sure it doesn't make any sense if you do. So here in this scenario, I know that all these cases of disorderly conduct are originating from the haggard child Stockhood. So we're going to schedule an interrogation to give you a feeling about what these things, what this does. So we scheduled that now. And now she's going on over there to interrogate Stockhood. So she's going to grab that child and pulling it over to her office, and then they'll have a chat. So the fun part about the interrogation system is you can interrogate everybody as often as you want to, and they won't mind. It doesn't provoke any bad feelings if you get interrogated or anything. So after the interrogation has happened, you have an intelligence report here. So interrogation, and if there's more behind it, you have more information about that. And here we have an interrogation report. Since we were interrogating a child, that wasn't too hard, and the child has confessed. And now we have another convict here. Well, no. We have to convict now the person, boom, and then you see it's green and it's solved, and now we have a new convict. But the thing is, children are excluded from the Dwarven justice system, so Stockhood doesn't get a prison time or a beating or whatever. So to round up the topic now, there is also a hammerer in each fortress. The hammerer is the executioner of your fortress, simply said. And the stages of dwarven punishment are beating as the lowest punishment, prison time as the second highest, and hammering as a capital punishment for stuff like murder and theft of artifacts and things like that. So the hammerer is an integral part if you want to have these things fulfilled, and the justice system always downgrades penalties. So if you don't have a hammerer and a hammering is being issued, so it's going to get downgraded to a beating. If a prison time is issued and there is no prison, it gets downgraded to a beating. You get the idea. But we ain't done yet. So we have now a captain of the guard, we have a hammerer, but we don't have the guard, the police itself. So let's whip up the police, all right? So first things first, we're going to require a barracks for that, because they will be just like any other military squad in your fortress. So we're going to create a new squad, and that is going to be the Captain of the Gods squad. So we're going to assign metal armor to these, and they will work just like any other military squad in your fortress, with the only exception that whenever there's crime happening anywhere in the fortress, these guys will be the response force. If I remember correctly, they are also responsible for issuing beatings, not only the captain, but correct me if I stand wrong here. I'm not too familiar with 100% of the details here, but the gist of it is these dudes are the people that will hurt criminals. So players have put up a divisive stance towards that. Let's call it divisive. So some people prefer to have a military that doesn't kill people when they get a beating. Some people are like, yeah, they had it coming. I don't care. So if you don't want your guards here hidden like a truck, make sure that you're not equipping any high quality gear to them. Especially the hammer should not have access to big hammers, but most importantly, don't let them train. The training is where all the power is coming from in terms of fighting power when it comes down to dwarves. A dwarven soldier with permanent training is capable to kill stuff with just his fists, and with considerable ease. Even so, so we're going to make a proper fortress force. So they're going to get some iron hammers. So sorry, iron war hammer it is, to make them a proper force to be reckoned. So there we go. Then we have to put up the regular thing. It's just the same like any other military squad. You equip them with the gear, you schedule them to train, and that's all you need to do. And in a pinch, you can also, of course, use them against anything that would be attacking your fortress. And now we have a functioning justice system running. We can imprison dwarfs. I mean, of course, this has to be done a little bit better. Or it can be done better. Let's put it down like that. But at the end of the day, more backpacks, more backpacks. But at the end of the day, this is already pretty decent, and I think I've covered the most important parts of the justice system there. So, some last thoughts. Don't solve all your last cases here. Always leave open at least one or two cold cases if you can, because these allow you to interrogate whoever you want to in the fortress, and that can be really, really good, because sometimes people come to steal stuff from your fortress, and if sometimes you can already see that, I don't know, a poet is showing up and he's a goblin. All right, that's one point minus, and he's really good at weapons. Okay, strange poet. And then you see he's a very good ambusher, or a very, very, very good at lying or stuff like that. These are red flags for spies. And if you have a cold case open, you can interrogate these spies. You would interrogate them for disorderly conduct, yeah. But they might spill their beans about something else when they are properly threatened, because the spy doesn't know that his cover didn't get blown, and the like. So if you are suspecting somebody as a spy, leave open 1 to 5 cases like these and interrogate them about that. Chances are, if your interrogator is good enough, that they might have a sudden case of growing talkative. So last step, we got to assign these to the fortress guards here, and yeah, that's that. Justice system set up. I thank you all for watching this episode, because I'm going to close it off here, because I think we're at a good spot. So feel free to leave me any comments, and if you have any thoughts about adjusting the justice system, or things that you have thought I have missed out, please add it in. I'm always happy if we have a complete picture. Game's deep and complex, and there's always something new to learn. So leave a thumbs up on that video to make it more visible to everybody. That also helps a ton, and consider subscribing. Helps a lot to the channel as well. So thanks for watching yet again. I hope you're going to tune in for the next episode as well, when we're either going to go deeper into cavern exploration, but actually my plan is to go deeper than that and probably starting to go towards magma. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, see you guys next time and have a wonderful day.